There was a time when roads were not just paths carved across continents, but silent arenas of national pride. In Europe, especially in Germany, engineers believed they had shaped the peak of heavy-duty trucking. Their machines were compact, efficient, disciplined, and built under a philosophy that every centimeter must serve a function. This belief had been forged through decades of precision manufacturing, industrial recovery, and an obsession with mechanical perfection. Across the ocean, the United States watched from afar. A land of vast distances, endless highways, deserts stretching farther than the eye could see, and mountains that tested both steel and spirit. Here, trucking was not just transport, it was identity, labor, lifestyle. While Germany refined engineering with meticulous calculation, America built for endurance, long days under scorching sun, and nights driven beneath skies with no end. What worked in tight European corridors simply did not satisfy a country where a single delivery route could span from the Pacific to the Great Lakes. Industry leaders in Europe questioned whether any nation could surpass their mastery. Many believed that American trucks were oversized, excessive, lacking finesse. They called them loud, unnecessarily long, and too powerful for what they considered logical efficiency. But the American mindset saw trucks not as urban tools, but as machines of freedom, rolling monuments capable of hauling dreams across thousands of miles without surrender. As highways expanded and freight demands exploded, the United States needed something more than a machine that simply moved cargo. It needed a symbol, an icon capable not just of performing but of embodying the culture of the open road. This tension, unspoken yet inevitable, marked the turning point. A storm of innovation was forming in the West. Steel, industry, and pride collided. And before the world realized it, a machine would emerge that redefined how a nation expressed power on wheels. Built not in Berlin or Stuttgart, but in the rugged landscapes of the American Northwest. A machine known as the Kenworth W900. The year was 1961. A time when the American highway system had matured into a sprawling steel network linking oceans, borders, and industrial capitals. The nation demanded a truck that could conquer these distances without compromise, a machine not merely built for performance, but designed as a partner for the men who spent their lives behind the wheel. From this demand, in the rugged landscapes of the Pacific Northwest, the Kenworth W900 was born. It did not emerge from boardrooms filled with abstract theories or urban laboratories focused on minimizing dimensions. It emerged from conversations with real drivers, men who hauled timber across snowy passes in Washington, diesel across deserts in Nevada, and machinery through storms in Wyoming. They needed a truck that would not simply endure harsh conditions, but dominate them with dignity. The result was a long-nosed design that stood in defiance of European compact engineering. Where Germany prioritized short wheelbases and narrow cabins for their winding streets and regulated infrastructure, the American West required room for larger engines, room for heat dissipation, room for maintenance on the road, and room for comfort during journeys lasting hundreds of hours. The W900 embraced that philosophy with a hood stretched forward like the prow of a ship, cutting through wind and dust with confidence. Its chassis was built with reinforced steel capable of handling extreme weight and stress. This was not a truck for city deliveries. It was built for mountains, timber routes, cross-country logistics, and endless freight corridors. Every bolt, every panel, every inch of the frame was designed to remain faithful under punishment. Power came from diesel engines that prioritized torque over refinement, machines destined to pull, climb, and endure. Instead of being tuned for regulated European tonnage limits, these engines were built to confront reality. Steep inclines, oversized loads, scorching asphalt, frozen mountain passes. The truck was not a tool. It was armor. And something else made it legendary: identity. The W900 was not just machinery. It was personality on wheels. Chrome details reflected streetlights at midnight. Massive exhaust stacks rose like metallic skyscrapers, and the cab, wide, tall, unapologetically bold, became both a workplace and a home. Drivers named their trucks, painted murals on them, polished every inch before sunrise, and spoke of them with loyalty usually reserved for companions. While Europe refined engineering through logic, America refined it through purpose. The Kenworth W900 became the manifestation of that purpose, standing tall not as a rival to European philosophy, but as a monument to a different way of conquering distance. A machine built not just to move freight, but to represent a nation that believed the road was not an obstacle, it was a calling. Strength is not defined by excess, it is defined by purpose. The Kenworth W900 was engineered with that philosophy carved into every weld, gear, and bolt. It took the raw physical demands of American freight routes and translated them into mechanical decisions that shaped an entire era of trucking. The long nose profile was not aesthetic vanity. It enabled space for engines that delivered deep, steady torque essential for hauling oversized loads across mountain ranges. Rather than small, tightly packaged power plants common in Europe, the W900 housed engines built for endurance and cooling efficiency over thousands of uninterrupted miles. These engines were known not for perfection on paper, but for surviving punishing terrain where failure was never an option. Transmissions followed the same logic. Multi-stage, heavy-duty gearboxes that offered flexibility for countless driving conditions. Steep grades demanded low gears that could drag dozens of tons uphill without overheating. Endless plains demanded high gears that preserved fuel while sustaining speed for hours. The W900 delivered both. Suspension systems were equally deliberate. While urban streets favored compact maneuverability, American freight corridors required stability, resilience, and comfort during extreme vibrations. Reinforced leaf springs, durable axles, and a frame built to withstand years of continuous strain gave the truck a reputation for longevity that felt almost mythic among drivers. But engineering alone did not create a legend. The real measure of its legacy came from the roads themselves. Stories emerged from the desert highways of Arizona, where asphalt shimmered under a sun that punished metal like a forge. The W900 crossed these routes carrying machinery, construction equipment, fuel, and timber without hesitation. In the freezing heights of the Rockies, ice and gravity conspired against every vehicle daring to climb them. Yet with chains wrapped around massive tires and headlights cutting through white storms, the same truck proved its worth again and again. Drivers spoke of nights where the road swallowed everything beyond the faint glow of marker lights. Wind howled across plains so vast that time seemed to stretch with the horizon. The truck moved forward because that was its purpose. Mile after mile, hour after hour, a companion forged from steel, grit, and perseverance. It was not just a machine engineered to perform. It was engineered to endure the human experience of long-haul life, isolation, resilience, and silent determination that only those who have crossed a continent behind a wheel can understand. The W900 earned respect not through marketing or theory, but through the testimony of those who lived inside it. Legends are not declared, they are remembered. The Kenworth W900 did more than haul freight, it reshaped the world's perception of what a truck could represent. It was born to serve the American highway, yet its impact traveled far beyond state lines and national borders, influencing engineering philosophies, popular culture, and the identity of entire generations of drivers. Its presence on the road became unmistakable. The long hood, towering exhaust stacks, expansive chrome surfaces, and angular lines created a silhouette that became iconic long before the word iconic was used lightly. It appeared in magazines, collectibles, truck shows, calendars, and later, films and television series that turned highway life into myth. Children grew up pointing at these machines from the back seats of family cars, dreaming of one day sitting behind a wheel that seemed larger than life. While some countries continued to design trucks guided by regulation, the W900 showed the world that emotion could coexist with utility. It proved that a machine could be both industrial tool and cultural blueprint. The truck became a statement piece, not about extravagance, but about pride in labor. It represented endless miles, solitary nights at diesel stations, friendships formed on rest stops, and the type of work that keeps entire nations alive without applause. Technically, Its design would inspire variations and evolutions for decades. Successive generations adopted aerodynamic improvements, enhanced safety systems, new diesel configurations, sleeper cabs more suited for long-haul life, and refinements that kept the lineage alive while respecting its origins. Many trucks evolved with curved lines and modern composites, but the spirit of the long-nosed Titan remained intact. And something else made its legacy eternal. It became a symbol not only of the country that built it, but of the road itself. To many drivers, it represented dignity, proof that strength could have elegance, that endurance could have style, and that a machine could carry not just cargo but identity. Even today, restored models continue to cross highways at dawn, polished to mirror-like perfection, driven not merely out of necessity but out of devotion. Owners preserve them like heirlooms, replacing engines, rebuilding frames, and proudly keeping traditions alive. Some trucks have accumulated miles beyond what most vehicles experience in multiple lifetimes, yet their presence still commands silence when they roll past. It is not only a truck, it is memory, heritage, and testimony to a time when engineering dared to dream larger than logic. The Kenworth W900 remains a reminder that greatness is not measured by charts or regulations, but by the lives shaped along the journey.